Hi class, welcome once again to a video lecture. A second one this week. I am going to try my best to keep it on the shorter side, but I wanted to talk to you about your cross-critical essay assignments. Lots of this I tried to say in the paper as well on your assignment sheet, which incidentally you can see on Moodle and you should definitely take a look at. Watching this video is not a sufficient substitute for that. But there are a couple of things I wanted to make sure you got a chance to hear me say out loud because they can be a little bit confusing. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about how I'm grading this paper and why I'm grading it that way, as well as some of the content expectations I have here. So the first thing I want to talk about is your topics. This is, once you get the idea in your head, fairly straightforward, but saying it is a little weird. So listen, your job is to compare two texts, and a text here can literally be anything you can ascribe meaning to. So the wide meaning of text. One of them needs to be a poem from your book. You could also use Rusgate, but let's say for the sake of argument, from your book. The other can be from one of two categories. A, it can be any piece of contemporary art. That means music, video games, television, art, obviously physical, visual art, plays. I could go on. I want to be fairly wide open in that regard. Anything you're interested in, I will either say yes to or sort of help you look for more appropriate methods rather than leave you out on the old. So if there's something you're interested in, talk to me. In that regard, it can be anything contemporary that you can call art or that you could call a text. Anything you can analyze and put a reading on, as it were. The other option is to pick another piece of literature, and again, that can be anything that's written that is older and established or canonical, meaning that it's the sort of thing you would read in another literature class. So, you can compare a poem from our book to some other piece of art that's contemporary, meaning in the last 20 years, or you can compare a poem to our book to some other poem or piece of literature that's a little older and a little more established. No matter what. So that's the first thing I wanted to make sure that we're clear on, is that topic issue. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you have ideas, run them by me. If you're not quite sure, this is a great opportunity to test me on that whole do I answer messages, phone calls, etc. thing. I try to, is the answer there. So make sure you're clear on that idea, what I'm looking for. The next thing I want to talk to you about is, what do you do? So now that you have these two topics, what does a great example of this paper look like? What is it supposed to be doing? So the primary thing I am testing you on, this is designed to prove to me that you understand the basics of literary analysis. That means taking a text, telling me what it means. That's the basic thing I am trying to prove that you guys know. So put that particular skill on display in everything you do. The way I want you to do that is like this. Analyze the first text. Tell me what it means. Analyze the second text. Tell me what it means. Tell me in a third what it means to think about these two texts together. Why it's important, what it's valuable, why it's valuable, or why it adds to the meaning of one text or the other. So that is your plan. That is sort of the idea that I want your papers to be about. Focused on specific literary analysis, telling me what a text means and demonstrating why you think that was specific analysis. That is what I'm grading most often, and you're going to show that to me by, first off, comparing two texts and analyzing each separately, and then using your own analysis to bring it all together, synthesize it as it were, and tell me why it's important to think about these two ideas as you go. So those are just kind of big steering ideas to get you thinking in the right direction. The next thing I want to talk about is, what does writing this paper look like? How am I grading it, and why am I grading it that way? All of which are related questions for me. I believe sincerely that the reason you have to write papers is not to demonstrate whether or not you can put a certain number of words or pages on my desk. It's not that at all. Rather, the point of such a thing is to demonstrate, is to teach you how to go from step one, i.e., where you are right now, to the final idea, i.e., a complete, finished, great paper. In a lot of classes, you just get told, here, write a paper. Here's the assignment, go. It's not going to be that way here. Not only because I know from experience that that only benefits students who already know what they're supposed to know and doesn't give anyone a chance to demonstrate learning or to learn a lot. And also because it's just too hard for me to demonstrate the whole idea and to make sure that you're learning that process. When I was in undergrad, I was, and I'm sure this doesn't apply to any of you, one of those people who occasionally may have written a paper the very night it was due, sometimes like with hours before the deadline. Now, again, I'm sure you guys would never do that, right? That doesn't teach you a lot, and it's not a valuable process. And more than that, it's not you giving yourself your best opportunity to succeed. So I did set this up such that that's kind of impossible. Specifically, there are specific moments you have to complete in the process as we go. And every week forward, we're going to talk about this in these video lectures, and your writing assignments are going to be keyed towards moving in this direction. So, you're going to have to meet certain progress requirements along the way to get part of your grade. So, the end product, 80% of your grade, 120 points. But 30 of those points, which is the difference between an A and a B, a C and a D, a C and an F sometimes, are based on this process. And these are free points. These make it really easy. So if you're worried about the paper writing process, if you're like, geez, I wasn't so strong in other English classes, feel good about this, because it means that 20% of your grade you get just for showing up, just for getting assignments done on time. The first of those is giving me your topic. If you're going to write a paper, you got to know what you're going to be writing about long in advance of when you're going to write it, so you have plenty of time to think, research, work, etc. So that's going to be this week, the 10th. I want it by midnight, and there is a forum that you can see in this week's post where I want you to post that. Questions? Obviously, let me know. I am fielding those as we speak. On or before the 16th of February, so that's another week further, I want you to post reading notes on both of the texts that you've picked. The idea here is that you're going to show me what you've been working towards, what you've been spending time on. And then a week or so before it's due, you're going to turn in a complete outline of your paper at the beginning of you're going to email me a complete outline of your paper, or turn it in through Moodle. Again, the purpose here is to make sure that you're going through the process and that you're spending as much time on this as is necessary to get a really good grade. That's what's up. So, that's my whole spiel on this. Thank you for your time and attention. Questions, comments, concerns, you know how to get a hold of me, and thank you very much.